the history of a young, promising independent nation, Nigeria.
Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
But to 5 young soldiers, the greatest demonstration of pride and patriotic fervor was to topple the government of the day and put in its place a unitary system led and controlled by brass arts. Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzeogo, the chief instructor at the Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna, North Central Nigeria, convinced 4 other soldiers to join him in a revolution that left 11 top Nigerian politicians and 2 soldiers dead, while many others were kidnapped. Major Nzeogo's team of coupists, which included Timothy Onwatuego, Emmanuel Ifeajuna, Adewale Ademoyega, and Chris Anuforo, justified the military action on the need to rid the nation of corruption because, according to them, the men who were running Nigeria were so corrupt that if care was not taken, they could run the nation aground. The soldiers gave an instance of federal ministers living flamboyantly and looting public funds at the expense of national development. While trying to present an historical framework on which the coupists erected their claims, a social commentator versed in Nigerian political history recounted what the political atmosphere of the young nation looked like before the coup.
At that point in time, Ojukwu went to Ejo, and he went to Gowon, asking them to let them carry out a coup. They refused to agree. The coup that took place was carried out by people who did not share, by soldiers who did not share the position of the Ojukus in the army.
I was in secondary class 4 that morning of the coup. I was in class 4. And what I felt, and I still feel today, was that Nigeria lost a moment of national unity.
On that Saturday morning, it was told that Major Nzeogo dramatically built up activities that culminated in the coup. According to history books, the soldier hid under the pretext of conducting a nighttime training exercise known as Exercise Damisa for his men within the Kaduna mansion, which served as the residence of Premier of the Northern Region, Sir Amadu Bello, in Kaduna. He had deceived the soldiers under his authority to take ambush around the mansion. He then proceeded to search through the building in the quest to find Sir Bello. His effort yielded result as the Premier personally handed over himself to the soldier. Major Nzeogo pulled the trigger. In Lagos, the then seat of power, Emmanuel Ifeajuna, like the leader of the mutiny in Kaduna, led some soldiers to the residence of the Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. They found him in his bedroom, arrested him, and led him away with a cold iron close to his skull. 6 days after, a journalist with the Daily Times newspaper and former governor of Ogun State discovered Balewa's body dumped somewhere in Lagos. The coupists did not leave out the western region. They swept on the Premier, Chief Samuel Akintola, who had gathered intelligence that the soldiers were out on a mission. Chief Akintola did not go down without putting up a fight. He opened fire on the soldiers who had stormed his Ibadan residence, led by Captain Emmanuel Nwobose, although Nwobose and his men did not leave until they killed the Premier. For Ofemo, many things played out in the background before the 1966 coup, which he insists was Nigeria's second, contrary to popular belief.
The real crisis began in 1957-58 during the constitutional conferences preparatory to independence. The NCNC was told that if they formed a coalition with the action group, they would have problems because the number of Yoruba who are educated was almost equal to the number of Igbo people who are educated, and that the struggle between the two ethnic groups, and therefore the two political parties, NCNC and AG, would tear the coalition apart.
In Lagos, part of the plan of the coupists was to eliminate Major General Johnson Aguiyi Ironsi, but Ironsi outsmarted the 5 young soldiers. In the middle of the national confusion, Major General Ironsi reportedly seized the opportunity to take over government. According to people who claim to know, the army chief forced other civilians in government to resign in order to pave way for the Senate President Nwafor Rizzo to emerge as the acting president. Ironsi then allegedly put up a well-written drama. He pulled the puppet strings to manipulate Oriso, who in a nationwide broadcast invited the military to take over power.
My main concern is to restore law and order as soon as possible.
Barely 6 months after then, Ironsi was also overthrown in a coup which many historians regard as retaliatory by soldiers of northern extraction. 50 years after the coup, has Nigeria learned anything from that experience?
I don't think so. That's my personal opinion and observation. The Nigerian government under democracy has not learned any lesson from the coup. Otherwise, this type of, or the system they are using today will not be adopted.
I can say that we've learned our lessons, because during the military, they rule with decrees, and nobody questioned their authority. They have power to do and undo. Unlike the civilian government, you have to go through the National Assembly before you do anything, before you carry out anything.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot of lessons, but at the same time, the lesson is not really deep, into our own, the civilians.
Although there have been about 8 other coups d'etat in Nigeria since the January 15, 1966 coup, none really changed the course of Nigerian political history like the one led by Major Chukwuma Kaduna Nzego. Oba Adeoye, TVC News, Lagos.